So here I am with another mug, and to you looking at me, it doesn't look like much, but dun, 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 dun. When I turn it around, I hope you can see it. There's an owl and the word whom, because we want to have correct grammar. My sister-in-law gave this to me, so if you're wise, you're gonna have correct grammar and say whom instead of who, right? So clever. So I got this from my sister-in-law, as I was mentioning. And I love this mug. It's very nice for drinking out of, but also it reminds me, I think in my younger years, she knew that I was very much, forgive me, like the grammar police. Like I was so proud of myself in high school. This really mattered to me. I took the SAT and didn't feel like I had done that well on it. It was fine, but they used to have, I don't know if they still do, the test of standard written English on the SAT. And for that, I scored like in the 99th percentile. I was so pleased with myself because grammatically I knew what was going on, even if I felt like the scores of my other sections didn't like capture enough of my whatever, and actually sort of judged myself by those standards, which was not that helpful. And that's a whole nother issue of how we sort of judge ourselves by an external standard that doesn't really measure all of who we are. However, grammatically, I was so proud of myself. And I have to be honest, I used to correct people a lot, or in my head think, that's not the way we would say that, right? Or correct people's grammar. And sometimes that prevented me from actually, my fixation on that prevented me from actually hearing what people had to say and from communicating with people in a way that wasn't helpful. And even my own now spouse was stronger in numbers than in some of the language and spelling stuff. And there's no reason for me to make the assumption that just because my grammar is better makes me smarter, makes me more important, makes me more anything. It's just a skill, right? And we all have different ones. And so that's kind of deep. But when I drink from this, I think about that. I can be good about my own grammar skills, but I don't have to let that come between me and communicating with someone else. So I'm going to sing this really awesome song called I Could Write a Book, and maybe you'll understand why I picked it when I start. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I never learned to spell, at least not well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I never learned to count a great amount. But my busy mind is yearning to use what learning I've got. I won't waste any time. I'll strike while the iron is hot. If they asked me, I could write a book about the way you walked and whispered and looked. I could write a preface on how we met, so the world would never forget. And the simple secret of the plot is just to tell them that I love you a lot. Then the world discovers as my book ends how to make two lovers of friends. And then there's a little dance sequence. I could write a preface on how we met, so the world would never forget. And the simple secret of the plot is just to tell them that I love you how to make two lovers